What's going on? Welcome to Totally Blitz Podcast, and we're back with the NFL, baby. We're gonna start off with AFC North, where we know it gets tough and grueling up there. We're gonna break down the AFC North. We're gonna give out our season props. We're gonna give out our best bets, our division breakdown, division picks. We're gonna walk through the division as if we're a fucking GM of an NFL team with y'all. As always, this is Paul Pickle Winham Concha. And if y'all don't know, because you're watching these episodes singularly, because they are going to come out singularly, just know this is the first episode of NFL season. And I got my shot poured up, and I'm ready to roll. And who's with me?
Hey man, if you didn't know, I don't mind telling you again. There's another NFL season that's coming. And you know we coming every week with it. It's your boy Cat, voice of boy.
That's that water boy.
AKA the PYE. AKA the Don PYE, also known as the realest motherfucker on your screen. You feel me? And it's good, Paul. It's good to see another season, dog. It's really, really good.
I think these preseason episodes are my favorite episodes just because of how you can watch the age progress. I mean, the take progress. Like, my personal favorite thing of last season was being on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I love the first episode we dropped, and people were literally quote retweeting it, talking about that motherfucker talking about the Jaguars. And then all of a sudden we're sitting there at like week 7, they just upset the Chargers, blow them out, and they run all over them. And like I'm sitting there collecting my receipts. Like, oh, what's up? How's it going? Oh, they're in the playoffs. How's that going? Oh, they just beat the Chargers in the first round of the playoffs. How's that going? Remember when I talked about the Jaguars? I remember.
But you can't remember, you was looking crazy for most of the season.
Okay.
That's why that's the beauty of it though. It ages, you can see it age terribly, and you can see it age so well. And you picked one that aged both.
Yeah, no, and there's a couple that I definitely whiffed on. But the ones that you hit on when no one else is even looking that way, that's what makes it so good. Because no
Nah,
one's even looking over there.
I feel that. My favorite one had to have been when I called that what's his name? The coach. James John Gruden was gonna get fired. I called that. I was like, damn, that was a little earlier than expected.
And he hit on that. People thought he was crazy for that one. That's what when people think you're crazy and you're right at the end of the day. Those are what I think makes everything so good. And that's what makes these preseason picks, breaks down everything so much special because they don't remember, but we'll remember because we do this every single week.
Yeah, for real. And no, I'm lying. My favorite was the Cardinals were gonna win less games. I forgot what
They're gonna
he
be
said.
low 500, and
And then
they won one game more.
yeah, but didn't they win like the first like six, like
They,
first 7 games? And I was just looking at your ass like, well, what we?
but that's the past. And just like all these general manager coaches are telling all these young teams they got in front of them, it ain't about what we did last season. It's about what we do this season.
Facts, because if you're the Cardinals, you better pretend like you ain't have it last season.
And I think this is one of the best divisions to start on, Kev. AFC North, the slobber knocker every year. Bengals, Ravens, Browns, Steelers, known for their gritty football, known to not like the fan base is hating each other. Some of the dirtiest games in history. I'm gonna open up with the odds. Kev can't see them, but everyone watching on YouTube, if you're just listening, go to YouTube. You get the better product. You see us. You see the graphic to our side over here. You'll see in front of you that the Bengals are favored to win the division plus one. They're the favorite plus 150. Ravens second at plus 210. Then Browns plus 400 and Steelers plus 470. They're at least they're the biggest underdog in the division. We'll get into our actual picks as the show rolls on who we think is going to win. But just to break it down, Kev, like off season's always been wild. Let's just go into it. Like Lamar, he's back. Injury last season. We didn't get to see the whole Lamar show. They looked good when he played. They didn't look good when he didn't. Browns, Deshaun Watson, first year actually being on the team, can play, can train, second year with the coach, all that stuff. Steelers, TJ Watt, we know when healthy, the Steelers are a threat. Kenny Pickett, second year into the league, better offensive line. Still got George Pickens, who's a dog. You got Deontay Johnson still. And then you got the Bengals, who's defending the crown of the North right now. Joe Burrow did get a little bit banged up in training camps. He expected to play week 1. Joe Mixon, shout out Joe Mixon. He won his court case. He'll be back for week 1. And there's a few people missing from the team, but other than that, everything is still intact for the Bengals. Same coach, same everything. So that's just to give little points. If you want to, what do you want to talk about first, or is there something out of those 4 that catches your eye the most?
I mean, so shout out Joe Mixon. I do always love to see somebody beat a case. You feel me? So this is the North, straight up the North, NAWF, the North. This is the most interesting division consistently in NFL because there's just so much hate, so much grime. There's so many years of fucking up the Browns. Like this team is this is one of my favorite divisions to watch like all time, from like Ray Lewis to now type vibe. From 2000 to now, this is one of my favorite divisions. And I think it could go either way, but I want to talk about the fact that Lamar got his bag. How much was the contract?
He's up there. While Kev's looking for the contract, I will shout out. They went out and drafted Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers, wide receiver, and immediately dog. Immediately, all the training camps people coming out saying, "Oh, he looks like a legit, real deal player." And then you go out and also you see preseason. He scores the touchdown in the preseason game this week. He looks like a legit. They got Odell. Also got to count. Odell got his number 1. Lamar got his number 1 receiver, and Odell Beckham Jr. So like Nelson Aguilar, even though we don't bring that name up on this podcast. But you got Zay Flowers, who looks like a legit wide receiver 2 to Odell, and then Mark Andrews is still there, and Lamar Jackson. Of course, the running back room is a little. They got J.K. Dobbins. Hopefully, he's good to go week 1, and this is still the same team. So like, they look upgraded. New offensive coordinator. They should be airing it out a little bit more. So like, I kind of like the Ravens. I'm happy you're starting with them.
Yeah, didn't they rob somebody for the offensive coordinator? Didn't they take somebody's?
Probably. I can't remember who they got, but I know the person they got is a quarterback friendly offensive coordinator. So like if Lamar's going to have another MVP season, a lot of people are saying it may be this year. If healthy.
That'd be nice. And I'm not going to lie, when we get to the 2 early picks award, you might see Lamar pop up high on my MVP list. But this Ravens team is a problem. They're always going to be coached by John Harbaugh, who is one of the best to do it. Do you have somebody that's creative on offense, but now you might have now you feel like now they finally put together the team around them to make things happen, because there are a lot of games. Because the way they started off last season, Lamar was scoring more touchdowns, a lot more touchdowns than most teams had points in general.
He played the Dolphins and had like 150 rushing yards and 300 passing yards and still lost.
So now,
to sum up their season.
Facts. Now he's at the point where like, yo, you can go win another MVP. He showed y'all the price of the brick went up, $260 million extension, and now he has. They feel like they put together a really good band for this team. So this is going to be a very interesting season. But what about all the hits on defense?
So they lost Chuck Clark, traded to the Jets. Then you had Calais Campbell leave, Jason Pierre-Paul leave, Justin Houston, leading sack getter for them, leave. But people did bring up like their defense is similar to like how we're going to talk about Mike Tomlin's defense later on, where like John Harbaugh, and I can't remember the defensive coordinator's name right now off the top of my head. I'm not going to pull it up, but he's legit. Like whenever Ray Lewis and all them boys all ended up Terrell Suggs, Ed Reed, all them boys retired, Not once did anyone talk about, oh, the Ravens defense slipped. And it's
Not
because
one, not even
they're
slightly.
they're coached by a legit guy that knows defense and running the ball is going to win you games, and that's John Harbaugh. So I'm not worried about the defense that much. I think they're going to. They drafted the safety out of Notre Dame last year. I can't remember his name right now, but he was a dog, and they have enough
Kyle
DBs.
Henderson.
Yeah. So like I think they're going to be just fine defensive wise. Offensively though, the biggest thing for me is there's no more excuses for Lamar Jackson. You got the bag, you got receivers, you got Mark Andrews. The playoff time, there's no excuses. You better be there. You better be in the playoffs, and you better win. You better win a game in the playoffs. Like so, Lamar Jackson, there's no more excuses at this point. You got the money, can't complain about that. You can't complain you don't got weapons. You got Odell, who last time we saw play football was almost arguably could have won MVP of the Super Bowl if he didn't get hurt.
Arguably. Too bad my
Arguably.
dog Cooper Kupp.
But that whole first quarter and a half, it was like Odell had 7 catches, touchdown. But yeah, no, but it's still arguable. But like I'm just saying, you got weapons now. You can't argue. You can't complain. If I see you overthrow a receiver by 20 yards deep down the field, that's on you at this point right now. And there's no more. You got the money to the point where, like once you get paid that much money and you're the leader of a team, you can't point a finger anymore because you are the team. And that's where Lamar is at this point. I think you're no longer the young QB that can get better. You're no longer the guy who hasn't got paid. You're no longer the person who don't got weapons. Now it's the Lamar show. And I think he's gonna do great. We'll see when I make my picks later. But I think the Ravens, this is gonna be a year where if they fuck up, you can't blame it on anyone else other than the team and coaching, because like you said, the pieces are there now. All the pieces have come together.
Paul Bayless over here.
This is a Super Bowl or bust team. This is a Super Bowl or bust team.
Nah, man, this is a team that's gelling, that's meshing, that's learning. They're doing great things. They do got to go to the playoffs. They do got to win a game or two. But I want to see this team just be consistent and don't give up leads. Like, be consistent every week. Don't give up leads. Get better. Learn, you guys. Learn each other. Re-sign a lot of motherfuckers in the offseason. Like, wait for Marlon Humphrey to come back and motherfucking take charge of this defense. Like, that's what I want to see. I want to see a lot of motherfucking camaraderie. I want to see this team slowly merge, slowly build into what the Bills are like. Then I'll be screaming the Super Bowl or bust for y'all ass.
But I feel like if you ask the team right now, to them it's Super Bowl or bust. They don't give a fuck if they win a playoff game or two. Like
that's also like a lot of motherfuckers though. Like the Reds, the Commanders were in the playoffs last year, or the Cowboys are in the playoffs. The Cowboys, I think, is Super Bowl or bust because Dak's getting older. Tony Pollard stepping up. Micah Parsons probably going to be Defensive Player of the Year conversations again. Like they might be thinking.
The same thing you said for Dak. I think now Lamar's in that same stage of his career. He's getting older. People are stepping up. You got new pieces. Welcome to the club.
I feel that, but like, how old is Lamar compared to Pat Mahomes? Like 2 years?
So I'm gonna pull it up. Continue what you take as I pull it up.
So yeah, I think Lamar and the boys, I want to see them gel. I want to see, because it still is a new team, and John Harbaugh is very good at putting things together. So I want to see them gel. I want to see them mesh, and I want to see them look great. And I want to see a lot of people finish seasons, like you said. And we want to see you in the playoffs, and please be there. Like,
so Lamar is 26 and Pat Mahomes is 27.
Okay, but like experience though.
Oh, the draft.
Yeah, was it this year?
Mahomes is 2017 draft. I know that one. 2016, 2017 is one of those two.
Oh yeah, so I'm pretty sure Lamar was like 2018, maybe 2017 too. Nah, 2018.
He was 2018.
Okay, so that's it. So yeah, I respect that he is getting older now. I respect that. Pat Mahomes.
You're on your second contract. That's my whole thing. You're on your second contract. When you're still on your rookie contract, those learning curves are still to come. But the moment you get paid, like, you don't have to get paid as much as he did. But the moment you get that second contract, it's because you are now the franchise quarterback.
Yeah, that's that contract Baker never got.
Yeah, and you see where it got him. It doesn't say you don't see a lot of quarterbacks get that second contract, especially for the amount of money that he got. Like Hurts, Kyler, I said don't pay it. And look how that's aging. Like look how that's looking right now. The favorite to go 0-17. The favorite to have the number one pick. But like we can't stay just on the Ravens. We're gonna bounce around. I'm gonna bring up the Browns. They're the third favorite to win this division. It is a big drop off. The Bengals and Ravens are big favorites, and it is a big drop off to the Browns and Steelers. The Browns, I don't like Deshaun Watson. I feel like I keep seeing lists of quarterbacks, top 10 quarterbacks, top 15 quarterbacks, and Watson's always anywhere from like 7 to like 11. And I'm just like, did y'all watch the same football I watched? Did we watch the same games where Jacoby Brissett, yes, he's not the long term answer, but the offense ran better through Brissett. Games were actually close. Games could be won. And then when Watson came in, everyone on the team's numbers just went down. Like the whole team took a bad learning curve with Watson. And you can say it's this and that, but look at Michael Vick. Like he was great in his prime. He came back and he was nothing more. Like he had his run with the Eagles, but then it was also like a better offense to run through Vick. After that, it was just like, what else has he got? And then like Watson, I haven't been on the train. I didn't want the Dolphins to get him, and I'm happy we didn't because Watson does not look like a premier quarterback to me, especially not top 10 quarterback. I'm all out on the Browns. I am completely all out on Browns.
Damn, my brother gave up all his stock in Cleveland.
I don't have a bet for it, but I'm gonna look up the odds. Browns to finish last in division. While you talk about whatever you got to say about the Browns, I'm gonna go find that, and I'm definitely gonna bet it.
I mean, I don't have much to say about the Browns. I also don't not a big believer in Deshaun Watson, and I could see them. I could see a world where they finish last in this division. But all I'm saying is Nick Chubb. This is going to be because they still have that great O line. They still have Nick Chubb and always Donovan People Jones. I've always been a big fan of him at receiver. So we'll see what happens. But like but Kevin Stefanski, if he doesn't look good this season, he's out. Bye. See you later. And I just want to see Nick Chubb break some records. I feel like Josh Jacob. I depend on the workload Josh Jacob has. I think Nick Chubb might end up leading the league in rushing yards this year.
So I do believe Stefanski would maybe get the boot, but it's only because they paid Watson 300 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
If they didn't give him all that money and he was just a normal good quarterback that they got, I feel like Stefanski led them to a playoff first time in years, and it beat the Steelers in the playoffs
Facts.
with a quarterback that is currently bouncing around the NFL. Like I feel like I would give more to him before I give to Watson, but I have put all my future and money and ducks into Watson, so unfortunately, I would have to part ways with a good coach. And I feel like Stefanski, if he leaves, that's another team's W.
Facts. And that was a really stupid move. Every time you look, there's no way you can't put in like giving him all this guaranteed money and breaking the motherfucking market did not fuck shit up for the boys for everybody.
So I don't know. I don't want to speak for both of us. I personally don't have much to say about the Bengals because it's still the same Bengals. Like I expect them to still be the Bengals. I feel like the Ravens have more of like they went 9-7 or 9-8 last year, above 500. They didn't have TJ Watt for the full year. We can't expect injury. You never know what happens, but I mean, it would be like God does not like TJ Watt if he gets hurt for another year. Like it's just like you did something in your past for you to get this type of luck. Otherwise, we're getting TJ Watt for a full year. We get Mika Fitzpatrick. I can't remember the corner they had. I can't remember the corner they had last year, but he got like 6 interceptions. They drafted Joey Porter in the second round, who looks like a dog at corner to be the corner number 2. Mike Tomlin led defense. Mike Tomlin never goes below 500, and you got this team last place in the division on odds. It's just kind of interesting, Kev, to me personally.
I mean, yeah, this is a growing season for the Steelers. Last year was like to show that they're still alive, they can still do what they do, and they were still in a playoff late in December. So I like the Steelers. I definitely think they're a great team. I think I believe in Kenny Pickett will grow and get better this season.
Do you like Kenny Pickett? I don't think I've ever got your actual like take on Kenny. Do you think he's gonna be an NFL QB or was
I
it
mean,
like
I
overhyped
don't,
or
I don't know the nigga. I don't know, bro. Like I know Trevor Lawrence. I've been watching Trevor Lawrence fuck shit up for a while. I knew Lamar. Like I just don't know Trevor Lawrence. That's like you asking me about Kenny Pickett is equivalent of you ever asking me about like Justin Herbert when he first got out of college. Like I genuinely didn't even know Brody until I seen him do like that fake slide at Pitt when Kenny Pickett was at Pitt, he did a fake slide. If it wasn't for that, I would have never heard of bro.
in a bowl game where he could have took off too?
Yeah. So like I don't think I would know who he was. I wouldn't have known who he was if it wasn't for that. So like let me look into it. But I will say for somebody that came in halfway through the season and everybody kind of wanted him to just stay on the bench and learn. Somebody that doesn't maybe not have a million weapons, but like he has decent weapons to get the job done. He does have a James Conner turn, and then James Conner picking up speed and like
Oh no,
just having
he's on Arizona. You're talking about Najee Harris.
yeah, I'm tripping. Yeah, you're right. Najee Harris, motherfucking picking up speed and looking good at parts of the season. I mean, I like Kenny Pickett. I think he has a nice ensemble around him.
Deontay Johnson, he's going to be one of the high catches. George Pickens, averaging over 15-yard a catch. Like
And he makes so many spectacular catches in traffic.
they got Najee. They got better on offensive line, hopefully with the additions. And then they still got Pat Fryermuth, which was a great tight end last year. And they went out and drafted Darnell Washington, who's like 6'8" at tight end in like second or third round. He can run block and he's a red zone threat. He's 6'8". I might be lowballing him. He might be 6'9". And at tight end and the red zone, who's stopping a 6'9" tight end?
That sounds like a big motherfucker.
And then the Bengals. Did you have anything for the Bengals?
Just shout out what they've been doing, man. Shout out mental illness. But nah, what's it called? The Bengals are nice, man. They like really didn't pick up nobody crazy. Like they picked up Trevor Simeon. But they did lose a lot of players. Well, they picked up Orlando Brown. They put money into the offensive line. Got to respect that to the fullest. But the Bengals are just the team that I'm thinking like. I think the Bengals would be more like Super Bowl or bust than like the Ravens because like the Bengals like they
Been
can only
there.
do yeah they've been there done that. Now it's time like for somebody to go crazy, Joe Burrow go crazy and motherfucking really put this team on the map and bring this team into the championship and win something this year. So I like the Bengals. I think they're gonna be great. I always forget their coach's name. He's like the most regular person I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, it's he has a basic name. Zach Brown, no. Zach
Yeah,
Thomas.
Zach Thomas. So yeah, they have a decent coach, and we'll see how they go. I think they're gonna start off slow though. I feel like every year they start off pretty slow and then pick up pace closer to the middle and the end of the season.
All right, so I kind of agree with it because that's been the memo of the last seasons. But if this AFC North is as heated as I think it will be, you can't rely. It's almost like when we talk about Cheeto Vera. You cannot rely on the second half of the fight to always bring you to where you want it to bring you.
Hell yeah.
So let's get into the Kev. Do you want the odds before you make the pick, or do you just want to make your pick and I'll let you know what the? Because I did tell all the odds in the beginning. I don't know if you remember.
Bro, I knew my picks before I woke up this morning.
All right. So what's your pick for the AFC North? Who do you think?
AFC North, I got the Ravens winning that thing. Don't ask me a record because that involves me doing math and shit. So no. Two, I got the Bengals. I think, like you said, you can't rely on the second half of the season. So they're gonna pick up pace in the second half of the season. And then the Ravens just will continue to win and then edge them out with one or two games. Three, I got Ken Pickett and the Mike Tomlin ran Steelers. And I'll even one up you and say this team is gonna be was gonna be in the hunt for a wild card position most of the season and probably get edged out by a little bit last game type shit. And then lastly, I got the Browns because maybe we're tripping. Maybe we're tripping and Deshaun Watson's actually him. But at the moment, I'm not going for it. I got the Browns finishing last.
So, Kev, what have I told you? That's exactly what I have.
Nice.
Now, what have I told you? These are some of the bets on the division I'm taking. Ravens to win division, plus 225.
Oh, okay.
And then just in case that's not enough, just in case you're sitting there, the Bengals could make a run, right? Well, what if I told you you can get Bengals and Ravens, both teams to finish top two? Doesn't matter the order. There's top two in the division, plus 220.
Oh, damn. These are super plus odds.
And then even to spice it up, I took Steelers to finish third in the division, plus 240. And
Oh, wow.
while I was saying live on the air, I was looking for the odds. I found them. It's the Browns to finish last, plus 190. And I'm also going to take that one. Just in case the Steelers somehow go into the top two and all those other bets are dead, I always have the Browns to finish last, and that was saving.
I'm crying every time you can trust the Browns to fuck some shit up.
And so that was my like division picks. And if I was to have any like personal player on a team pick, I do have for the NFC North, or the AFC North, I have Deshaun Watson under 24 and a half passing touchdowns just because I don't think this team is gonna score a lot of points passing, even though they may try to do it early in the season. Halfway through the season, they're just gonna run the ball 40 times. They're gonna realize Nick Chubb is the answer, and we'll just run the ball a whole bunch of times. And I don't think Watson's gonna throw a whole bunch of touchdowns. I think they'll realize the product they got halfway through the season, maybe early through the season, will be like, okay, we're not going to keep doing that. Let's just run the ball.
Facts.
And then I have Watson under 30 for his passing yards, under 3,750 passing yards. I just don't think they're going to pass the ball. Like I said, I just don't think this is the way they win games. And then I have Nick Chubb over 1,200 rushing yards. He's only missed 1,200 yards twice. His rookie year, he had like 970 yards. And in a year where he got hurt and only played 12 games, and he still got 1,000 yards.
Nice.
Last year, he played 14 games and went over this number.
Damn, that's free money.
Yeah, so for 1,200 yards, as long as he doesn't get hurt, I feel like that's a safe bet. And then the last thing, Kev, and this was the home all my Steeler fans out there. The Steelers defense to allow the least amount of points in the NFL season.
Okay.
Plus 1,200.
Nice.
As long as TJ Watt stays healthy, and like I said, the additions plus Mika Fitzpatrick on defense, this defense is going to be – this team's going to win by protecting the ball and playing great defense, like Mike Tomlin knows.
Hell yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I always love the battles in the AFC North, and it always comes down to the last like 2 or 3 games every time.
That's what makes this division. As I'm happy we started here because this is I think the marquee division of close games. This is the best division of you never know who's gonna win it. But we gotta get out of here. Me and Kev are literally first episode of NFL season, first pick'ems. We agree, top to bottom. Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, and Browns at the bottom. As always, this has been Totally Blitz Podcast. Go down and let us know how you think the AFC North is going to go. Who's your pick? What bets you got riding this season-long prop bets that I love to take. This is Paul picking one of the Concha. I was joined by Kev, Waterboy Savoy. And if y'all didn't know, well, now y'all know, motherfuckers.